You're going to see much more of that exclusive interview next week when we have more on his thoughts on China and also his thoughts about the U.S. economy. Now, for more on China-U.S. relations in terms of business, Professor Zhao Zhongxiu is the Vice President of the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing. Welcome to Washington, D.C. Welcome to Biz Asia America. The rhetoric between the United States and China has toned down considerably over the past 12 months. Before we had the election coverage of President Obama, that's calmed down. Tell us about what the mood is like in China when it comes to foreign investments in the U.S.
Well, China has more and more investment in the United States, and besides the some stable price, and more and more the private business they like to invest here, including to some manufacturing, maybe in the service, and even the property here, and so the United States became a very charming investor area.
I'm just curious. I mean, you're there. And we're here, so we may not hear as much as you're hearing. Do the Chinese think the United States is open for business? Does the United States welcome money from China? And I'm asking that in a rhetorical way, but what do you hear from the people you speak to?
Yeah, well, yes, the United States, they welcome the money to the United States, including the money from China. But when China investors come here, they say they're concerned about this.
What's the concern? What's the biggest issue?
A big issue is that the ownership will be changed, and so this. The nervous that the new owners or new investors here, so they're quite familiar with that.
The latest big deal is that, of course, pork deal that you saw, Smithfield being bought by a Chinese group over there for a record amount. That was, I mean, it was a big deal. And even here in the United States, a lot of people were surprised that perhaps there wasn't more controversy over that deal, but the deal was announced. There was they took a look at it. There wasn't any issues, and the deal basically completed relatively quickly. Do you think those deals perhaps give us more hope that we'll see more deals in the future?
I think so, actually. Since the barrier, I think the barrier between the two countries will be down, and more investment will come here. And since most of the Chinese enterprise they want to go globally, and they want to come to the States. That is part of the internationalization strategy, and they gain experience here, and then they can also expand it.
A lot of companies, when they go overseas, they say, oh, how difficult it is, all the barriers to entry, the cultural differences, let alone the language differences. And of course, in China and the U.S., there's one very big difference. And it is a legal nightmare for a lot of people to come to the United States because there's so many different rules to follow by. There's so many legalities to follow by. In fact, in one state might have different rules than another state. So I'm curious, what advice do you tell the folks in China when they ask you about coming to the United States to invest here or to open up a business here? What resources do they have to help them?
Well, actually, when they come here, that's besides they have some the money actually, and they want to come here to get familiar with this business experience and business environment. That's they will helpful for them to expand. And but they were also consider that either there is what we call the potential barriers for this, since some of the regulations, some some internal things that the Chinese investors.
Very quickly, we only have a few seconds left. I just want to ask you: APEX is happening right now. Obama's not in Bali. China is in Bali. What do you think China wants to achieve in Bali?
Well, for China, we want to, China is a supporter of this multilateral trading system, and we want to actually to revitalize the Doha round, and we try to make measures to this, but it seems that it's very, very hard since now we have the TPP and other issues. Maybe it will be reshape the future of this trade system. So at least we must maintain the current system work.
It's amazing how much has changed in the last few years versus the last 5 years and so on. But Professor, I wish we had more time. Professor Zhao, thank you very much from the University over University of International Business and Economics in Beijing. Thank you, and enjoy your stay here in Washington, D.C.